Okay, everybody, so we are back for one of our longer CBC breakdowns, as you guys should be used to these. Of course, I am the host, Armin. You guys can find me on Twitter at Arminis. And, of course, the Comic Book Cast. Just look up Comic Book Cast, all really one word. And I'm here with Mitch.
What's up? You can find me at Mitch692.
And we're actually joined today by Shay.
Hey, you guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram with Mache1602. I'm not telling you how to spell it.
Yeah, and you can figure it out. Or if you find me, find her from there. That's kind of how it goes all around. So, as always with these breakdowns, hopefully you guys got like a bag of popcorn or something. It's probably going to be a little bit of a longer one. So, let's get right into it with the opening with the homeless support. So, a homeless shelter that quite clearly, they're drawing inspiration from a lot of Aunt May history here.
Yeah. Say, did she do this in the comics?
So I remember she worked with Lynn and everything, but it wasn't like a direct one-to-one. But I see what they're going for here with her being kind of part of the whole community thing. So
also helps tie it into the new Spider-Man game as well, because the focal point is she's a part of these homeless shelters and helping out.
Because that's what I thought. I was like, oh, they're just tying everything together, and that's obviously where the game got the idea from. But
well. It's like, I like it because obviously you can see they're raising money, and quite clearly she knows Peter is Spider-Man now, which we get in this, but she's using him to be able to raise more money for the homeless, which is like, again, this is really awesome and really nice way to put it. Now, I want to draw your attention to something I'm noticing up here. See these kids up here?
Yeah.
I have this feeling it's like, kids are going to be really important in this movie because it's like, they look up to Spider-Man. He's a new hero, and it's kind of like he's accepted by the city now. So whatever happens in the next Avengers, clearly, everybody's like, yeah, it's Spidey. We like him.
Speaking of that, though, they said this takes place like minutes after.
Right.
So everything's like, obviously they're not trying to spoil Avengers. Like Marvel's clearly gone in there and like cracking the whip.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a bit not happy-go-lucky because it's a homeless shelter, but like the way the trailer gives off is a bit more upbeat than I was expecting. Like especially with Peter himself, like he doesn't look as you just think a kid his age would be after something like that. But
it's kind of weird. It almost seems like there's like the time gem element. Like, did they kind of go back to originally where it was? But you can't, because future on we see him or her and Happy. So it's like,
and that's like the weird thing. I'm like, because we clearly don't know what happens in Endgame, right? So is there a manipulation of some time, or does Endgame end with a slight time jump? Like, we don't know. So it's like, yes, this could take place, but it's like,
that's a good point. Actually, it could, Endgame could be like a year.
Right.
So this could be like in 2020 where Endgame's in 2019. So you've had that year jump. Yeah, that's a good point.
Right. So like that's kind of like my whole thing. Like, we don't know. Like, this trailer for everything it shows us, which is a lot, which obviously we're going to talk about. We still get very little. And I like here, obviously, Aunt May, very morally supportive of Spider-Man. That's something I love, this element.
Yeah. And say I've been waiting for that since the 1610 comics were coming out. And she's known, and I've been begging for that for years.
Mm-hmm.
It's like me and Aunt May that knows he's Spider-Man and actually, wants to kind of push him in the right direction.
And if you sit there and you look kind of back through Aunt May's history, she's always had an inkling feeling. She's just never been the forefront of knowing and kind of telling Peter that, hey, I know who you are. Yeah. So I like that they're using this. And this particular scene alone makes it really seem like Endgame has to be a time jump. Because
there's got to be a little bit of a leap, because it seemed like it'd be like, wait a second, if this is literally minutes after, right? It's a little weird, so that's my thing. It's like, right here, clearly we see a relationship is already, brewing, and it's awesome to see
so
Happy,
cute.
Like, the leak was true.
Yeah.
They got it right. And everyone mad about it can kind of simmer in that now.
I really, everybody is so angry about this. They're like, well, why is Aunt May, in a relationship? Why can't she be? She's young.
Yeah.
Look at Tony. Tony tried to get in with it. But everybody was okay with Tony doing it, but not Happy. He's going to be the one person who is always there.
And personally, for me, I said this in a video before, but it's like, whatever happens with Peter, whatever time thing happens or how much of a leap, you got to understand, he was kind of meant to look over Pete. So he's probably going to feel guilty, visits Aunt May a couple times, and they start to develop this relationship. It's like, because Happy clearly cares. So she's going like, oh, wow, you care about Peter and you know he's Spider-Man. Like, you know, they have a big
and also,
thing in common.
You know, Happy's probably lost the most out of the pair of them. You know, he's lost Tony because we know he's in space.
Right.
Yeah.
And then he's got the whole thing with Peter on his shoulders as well. So it's kind of like, oh, well, you know, it's just a natural direction for these two characters to go in.
Mm-hmm. And I like this scene, Shay pointed out, she's like, you got to get this picture in here because that right there tells you Peter's like, what is happening right now?
Yeah.
So whatever's been happening, they have been keeping it on the hush hush, and I'm guessing whatever the reason why he walks in late is this was Happy's way of helping be able to contribute to this charity, and he's like, oh, I'm sorry I'm late, and then that was the first time here's
the thing though I want people to notice here, and I'm going to jump between these images, right? Look at Peter's suit a few images back. It is the blue classic Stark suit. In this image, it is the new one. This is from the end of the movie right here.
What, with Peter asking what's going on?
Yep.
Wait, yeah.
Are you sure? Again. Because that black's just the black lining on his shoulders.
It looks like, because it has this different pattern.
No, it is. It's right here.
Is it around the shoulder?
It's
I'm
that
like,
shoulder. Yeah, it's that image shoulder.
But
right
see,
there.
If we look at the shoulders here, right here.
Because the black suit still has the black bar.
Mind
the blue,
you,
yeah,
blue's
so
just
his
black.
arm is up here. So since his arm is up and now it's down,
I'm looking
it's
at it, I'm like
different.
a little iffy about it. But hey, big point of this trailer right here. We finally have the confirmation of Uncle Ben existing. For the love of God, we can finally put this aside.
Thank God.
Yeah,
everyone being like, they never referenced it. It's like, well, they kind of have. But now there you go. He has the suitcase with his initials, like.
Yeah, which I'm guessing they're probably going to have a small little scene about, I want to bring this. I want him to come with me. And she's going to be okay with that.
Or she's going to be like, here, take him with you or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if there's something where they're like, oh, Ben always wanted to travel to Europe, but he never got the chance. Yeah. So here you go, take him with you. Like that type of, deal, which once again, I'm 100% okay with, because we don't need him 100% confirmed, like in person, but this is all you really need right here,
Also, what would you think the F stands for?
Benjamin France?
Because as far as I'm aware, he doesn't have a middle initial.
That's what I always thought too, yeah.
But then again, it's, the MCU could just add in Franklin or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, that's my guess.
Like, it's clearly, like, Ben Parker. Like, you can Google BFP suitcases and they're not a real thing. So it's clearly his initials.
I love, though, that Parker is so teenager, and he is smelling his socks to make sure they smell.
Teenager, I know adults that do this.
Yeah, true, but...
I'd say any smart teenager wouldn't smell their socks, but...
Yeah. So after that, here we go. Once again, we're going back to, the store that was destroyed as kind of a result of Spider-Man. We see they're still friends here, so obviously pretty good stuff, new store and everything. In the back, you could see some Spider-Man stuff that's kind of there, just kind of.
Oh yeah, he's got a picture with him, hasn't he?
Yep. I wonder who is the other person that he's got a picture with.
Right here, I don't know.
I want to know, because I'm guessing there's a reason why they have that.
Maybe
there.
somebody somewhat important.
I was say it could be like the person that saved him.
Right.
After the homecoming thing.
Exactly.
Like, this is the doctor that saved my life or something like that.
Yeah, I could see that, So, honestly, it's a nice little shot. Just wanted in here for
alive.
reference. Of course, the cat's got... the cat's important. He's got to pet the cat.
Yep, every time.
Yep. So, here's a shot I want to put in here of Spidey swinging in front of the whole, New York. This is where the battle of the New York, the Avengers battle happens. And
this is the base of the Avengers Tower, isn't it?
Yep. And... it's reconstructing.
I wonder who's going to be buying that tower.
Mind you, it's also been broken down a couple times and has been.
So
that's true.
But it also, it's been 8-9 years since the Battle of New York and the tower was fixed. So clearly they're retrofitting this tower right here, right? Like,
I'd say this. I'd say the new buy has started, because Homecoming took place when was it? 2016.
Yes.
So it's been 3 years. This is 2019, so it is. It's about time for a refurb.
Like I said, I think we're going to find out at the end of this movie who buys it when he returns home from, and he looks at it. It's either going to be Oscorp or it's going to be the Fantastic Four. Take your pick.
I think it's a safe bet to go Osborn.
Yeah.
They can't use the Fantastic Four.
Yeah. Unless Marvel's just planning ahead, which probably is a little hard to believe, but...
Internally it's Osborn, but the deal's going to be done in March, so they're going to quickly add in an F. It's like, we have a month, get it rendered.
They crappily Photoshop just an F in there with like a static hit Photoshop image.
It floats around the screen as it moves.
If they're going to do anything and be the announcement of that particular building, it's going to be in a newspaper. They're going to be like, oh, finally revealed to the new owners of the Avengers
something
Tower.
Something little is going to happen here. But clearly this is here indicating, look, the next phase for Avengers Tower is here, you know, so...
Not that they've used it in, like, 6 years.
Right. After that, we just got to look at Peter's passport. It looks like a mugshot.
I love it.
That's the perfect photo.
I think what it was is they sat there and they're like, all right, kid, how about you sit here and take a selfie? And he's like, what's a selfie? I feel like they just took that from his actual, like, life.
I'm confused as hell.
I was going to say, because they did that with Robert Downey Jr. for something.
Yeah.
I can't remember which picture. I think it was, I want to say it's Infinity War. I'm not sure. They actually used a real image of him from Google.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So there's a little bit of that for you guys. So here we go. He abandons the suit at home.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that. Like,
yep.
It seems then some of the rumors that they're like, no, he's quitting. It's not that he's quitting. He just wants to finally be a kid.
Yeah. I mean, can you blame him? His work consists of fighting aliens in space. Like, let me take a break and go enjoy a vacation with my friends.
I was going to say, he became an Avenger for 5 minutes and then turned to dust. Like,
yeah, for real.
Yeah.
But if you watch the international trailer, Aunt May actually puts that in the suitcase.
Okay.
Oh.
Like, because the first, like, 30 seconds or whatever starts off like an airport advert, but it's him walking along. And they open it up to check everything. You see the suit in there with a little like sticky note saying, like, I thought you'd want this. And then he's like, he's bricking himself because he thinks they're going to find out he's Spider-Man, but they pick up banana. It's quite fun.
That's awesome. So here we go. We got Ned, and obviously not Gwen Stacy since she was changed the last time around. Now, I reported on this a couple, like 6-7 months ago. I was told directly that these two are going to have a relationship. And they're actually going to be in trouble in one of the scenes where Peter has to rescue them. So,
isn't there 2 love triangles going on in this one?
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah. Also, if you look in the back on the boat, it says ASM2.
I laughed hard when I saw that. Yep. A little nod. Maybe it'll be a sinking ship right there.
Oh no.
Sony's gone self-aware. Now, I do want to remind everybody, this hat, right?
The fedora.
It gives him confidence.
It gives him confidence. That's why he's wearing it. So this is, again, I love that they're, unlike the last movie series they did, they forgot, like, elements of their own script for some reason in the sequel. Clearly they understand here how to carry things through. So, yeah, pretty awesome.
It's awesome, though, too, that you're going to be able to see these kids and have a better understanding of them now, and it's going to help be able to bring more people to their other shows that are all kid driven as well,
right?
Like Runaways and Cloak and Dagger.
And it's kind of the whole kid mentality, and we see them here once again. Here they are on a field trip. The teacher is of course leading them. We know, was it Stein? I can't remember.
I can't remember his name now.
Yeah, I can't remember the teacher's name. It's not Martin. Yeah, I think it's Martin. Whatever. Okay. So anyway, he's leading them. Clearly they're going to a play or somewhere. So
yeah, it's something like
fancy.
that.
Yeah, fancy dress night or whatever it is. Anyway, this is a kind of a big reveal here.
This is cute.
Peter, MJ. We can now call her officially MJ, right? Like,
I mean, you could have done that from the end of Homecoming, couldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, because she sat there and she's like, "No, my friends, if I had friends, would call me MJ."
And I think this just kind of confirms Mary Jane is not going to exist in this universe. She is the new iteration of Mary Jane.
Or if she is, she's going to be someone completely different.
Well, again, that's fine because we've gotten boring Mary Jane in the originals, and then we would have had Ultimates, but that didn't go that way. So
I'll say it's not an issue for me.
Nope,
it's fine.
No, he is able to sit there and evolve just like they have. And I feel like because of the fact that we've already brought Gwen Stacy back from the dead and she's now like in the forefront of everything, and we had Mary Jane before, like give us something new.
Yeah, give us a new take. And it's like, I'm okay with this relationship because, again, both of these characters are very awkward, and clearly neither of them knows how the relationship works, which is quite awesome for both of them, you know?
Which is so cute, because I like how he's like, you're cute. Does that mean I have, like, potential? And she's like, no, not like that. He's like, I think you're cute, too? Like, I love how that reaction and that was.
So, right here, next up, they're going to a hotel, which looks like the most unsafe, rickety thing I've seen in any Marvel movie yet.
I say that is a European hostel if I've ever seen one.
Fury was the reason why they went there. He's like, I can break into this place easily.
You know, I could just walk in and say I live here, and I can be the shadiest character. And I'm like, you know what? Okay.
Oh, he obviously belongs here. Like, let him in. Go on.
That's actually where he's been hiding out this whole time. After he got undusted, he's just been sitting right there, like waiting.
Well, like, you know, it is kind of like the carrying relationship. So I'm guessing this is when they got there and everything kind of goes good for them, because you know we know that Nick Fury is gonna be very important here when it comes to that. So
they're very much going that like old 90s cartoon route and like the newer Spider-Man and then like the Ultimate Spider-Man comics route.
Yep. Like... So next up, let's talk about Ned here, and Ned is in for the shock his life, I would say.
That is one hell of a shot to get. His face, it's amazing.
We sat there and I'm just like, yep, this is the only way Fury can do anything, is just hiding in the dark and shooting people.
Well, I mean, Fury's here. Obviously, he needs to recruit Spider-Man for a mission. There's some big stuff going on here, and kind of like even through the dialogue we learn, it's like, whoa, look, this is kind of a big deal. You think you're on vacation, but you're really not, so. Yeah,
I really like, though, how he's also saying, like, you have a responsibility. You are a hero. It's like, yes, you may have been dusted, same with me. You may have, like, had all this other stuff happen to you, but in your core, you are a hero. No matter where you are, if you are needed, you have to come.
Yeah, you got to get the call of duty, so you got to do it. So
it's very reminiscent of like Iron Man 2.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very much so. And you know, I'm trying to figure out because like there's a shot here of Nick Fury in a giant glass tower. It's like, is this his?
That's the Shard in London, I believe.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, is this going to be the new base of operations for Shield or something, or?
Like, I mean,
whatever it is.
It could be, but it's. I believe it's the Shard anyway. It has that angle.
It does,
that the Shard has. So
yeah,
that would be my guess. Plus, it looks kind of London-y.
Yeah, I could agree with that.
The only difference is there's actually like a blue sky, which is complete.
That's Photoshop.
That's not accurate at all. It's grey and smuggy. That's what that is.
So, an update to the wingsuit by the look of it. So now we know why he has those white lines on the suit. They literally match up to these wings right here.
Which I love they kept.
They're literally like matching up to it. If you go, there's some very detailed pictures of the suit. Like some dude got in like a 4K camera. And you can tell just like it was supposed to be this type of design. You can see how they're going to kind of go off of his back, if that makes sense. Like,
all right,
the design is all there if you just kind of look and pay attention to it. I really like the little detail in the forearm and the wrist area.
That reminds me of like the TASM 1 suit.
Yeah,
is how that pattern went, but it's all in black, so it works. But
yeah.
Yeah, it's a beautiful suit, and now we know why he has his suit, because he didn't bring his suit.
Or maybe gets ruined the first time around, and Nick's like, I got a better suit for you, you know?
Because he also has the stealth suit, which I imagine is in the middle of the movie for the most part.
Well, okay, so jumping forward then to the next scene, we got Maria Hill, we got Nick Fury, and Sandman?
I say, I since we learned there was going to be 4 of these things, I've been calling it Sandman, Whirlwind, Molten Man, Hydro Man. It only makes sense.
Yeah. And, you know, people are going to complain about this. Oh, you ruined Sandman. Look, Sandman is supposed to be just a generic thug.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with this.
So let's do something different with it. They're never going to use him again, so why not make something interesting?
Exactly.
I'm trying to figure out where this is. It doesn't look
like London or something, right?
Yeah.
It says Hotel Le something, so I'm going to imagine it could be somewhere in France.
France? Yeah.
probably in the outskirts, maybe,
Yeah.
because there's no big city skyline behind it or anything. It doesn't even look like there's mountains, but it looks like they're also in the middle of a desert.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it looks very much like Iron Man 1.
It does.
That little, like, Middle Eastern town he goes to.
yeah.
I
Also,
wonder...
if Fury was standing like a foot to the left, you could have seen the license
Well, I
plate.
think that's what I was just thinking. I'm like, you could see the license plate and it would give us everything, but you can't. The thing right here is, though, obviously these elementals are going to be villains, but they're not the main villain, because if we go forward, once again, we're going back to London. You see the sky is messing up and everything. Like, it looks...
That's more like it.
This is what it's like
That's
every day.
It's a lot more accurate.
And it looks like, is it that Mysterio right there, kind of flying with his cape?
Yeah. So there he is. Next up, just a shot of a Spider-Man in his black suit. He's swinging. I put this shot in here just because it looks awesome. We can see a little bit of destruction is happening behind him. So I'm guessing this is, like...
prior to that scene ahead of us.
Or is this going to be, like, setting up the actions? Because this is clearly after he suits up, right?
I'd say this is the third act.
Yeah, I could see
This is
that.
the big third act fight, and he's going to throw everything at him.
Yep. Definitely. We've got to protect everybody. Things are going down.
Yep.
Speaking of going down, here's Molten Man.
And he looks amazing.
Whoa.
They all kind of remind me of like the Hercules cartoon movie Titans.
Oh my God,
it
yes.
does. Oh my gosh.
That way, this one's like all like really skinny, and that's what the last one was like in that movie. Then you got like the big rock titan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that actually is really true. Besides, the Rock Titan doesn't have two heads.
Yeah.
Then
we've only seen it from the side.
Oh,
right, true.
There could be one hiding behind.
We also do have the stealth suit in all its glory.
It looks amazing.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
I feel like this is like people's lazy man costume now. Everybody's gonna sit there and be like, all right, I need a ski mask. I need like one of those suits that's meant for like BB gun shooting.
Yeah, here you go.
I need hockey pads and some cardboard goggles.
What I like about this one is clearly this is going to have some sort of heat/night vision type of goggle thing they got for him here. But also we could see on the suit, it looks like there could still be a badge here. Now, is this going to be a SHIELD badge that they took out or not?
Well, Fury and Maria Hill are actually in the background.
Right,
I didn't
they
notice
are.
that the first time.
Good catch.
Yeah, because I'm like, that's clearly that reflection on the bald head is clearly Fury.
I wonder if this is his first mission. So you know how after Nick Fury tranks, Ned,
we gotta go for a ride.
Do they go for a ride? This is the ride. He's like, put this suit on and fight this dude right here in this carnival-looking thing, because that is what this scene is.
There's a stroller that's like destroyed behind him. That's kind of like scary.
Oh, scary. Oh no.
Or is it an illusion of a stroller that's destroyed?
Right, because Mysterio, we know he's going to be playing some different sides here. And speaking of different sides, here is Hydro Man.
You should have heard him squeal like a little child. Hydro Man.
Hydro Man is the most legit Z-list villain I've ever loved so much.
The only reason people know Hydro Man is because of that
90s cartoon.
There is no other reason to know it. And people only know that because he's in the intro to it.
100%. Like, and he looks great.
Yeah.
I wonder if these elementals are going to be like this the entire time, and they're not actually like going to take on like a more humanish form, which honestly
I'd imagine so.
I would be okay with this the entire time.
I think if it is that Mysterio is controlling them all, none of them are human. They're all his illusion, and it's all based on wherever he is closest to.
Right.
Like whatever element he is able to control at that time, that's what he's able to use.
Like whatever's more prominent. Like, Venice is a ton of water. Let's have water. Obviously, you're in London. There's a ton of wind because it's windy in London. Let's have water. We're in this like coastal France town, like here's Sandman.
Oh no, here is Baguette Man. we could stop Spider-Man with baguettes.
It's gonna be Le Spooked.
Or tea.
Or tea, yeah. Speaking of that, the most glorious reveal in a Spider-Man trailer ever. Look at that suit though.
There is nothing that will not work on screen now.
If people look at this after looking at the rest of the MCU and go, Wolverine and the X-Men can't work, I will slap you in the face with this picture. Like, I will frame this and slap you in the head with it.
So, some of you may know that I have a side project that I just did, and we actually had people back in the 1999 and 2000, they were like, no, like, these suits won't work, it'll be disturbing. And I'm like, cosplayers do it now. No, now the Marvel Cinematic Universe does it, so cosplayers can make these things.
This is, I couldn't imagine a better, like just translation from Mysterio. Yeah. Like, this is perfect.
And it's like, some people might be like, there's too much gold in the middle. Like, obviously, you have to have the gold in the, like, on the chest to break up that amount of green.
Yeah. Oh my God, it would look. Yeah.
Like, that amount of green with, like, that pattern on it that he has in the comics, that's way too much.
Like, he's got the ridiculous, stupid gauntlets. Like,
I'm guessing that's what helps him control whatever he's doing. It has to be in the gauntlets, like it typically is. Like,
I was like,
okay.
Oh, sorry. No, I'll let you finish because I was just trying to think of my thought. Yeah.
I was like, I also like, though, that like how the kids were like, oh, it looks like Iron Man mixed with Thor. I'm like, that's probably what he inspired.
I was actually about to bring up at that exact point. If you look at the pattern of his armor and everything, it's like pieces of the recent Iron Man armors.
Specifically, if you look around the waist belt, that's literally like Iron Man-ish. The cape, clearly Thor inspired.
It's also that kind of same red the Iron Man suits have. So
well, if you're sitting there and you want to be the next hero, how do you do it? You make yourself look like
the heroes.
That is it right there.
I also wouldn't be surprised if those gauntlets, like at least the bits on the forearms, are some kind of like relic.
Oh yeah, that would be awesome.
Gives the power.
That'd be great. And remember, there was rumors that part of his armor is going to be Chitauri tech, which 100% I can believe that again.
You can actually kind of see it in the chest piece.
I think so, right?
Chitauri's like tech looks like right in this middle section.
Do you guys think that maybe the Tinker is working with him as well?
Ooh.
Possibly. It's another through line you can have. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he does like all the Sinister Six stuff.
Exactly. So that'd be kind of cool to keep him around. Speaking of that, here he is using his magical powers. You know, it looks just about as Mysterio as you want this scene to look.
It's an interesting thing with his powers, though. The glyphs, because he has a glyph with where his hands are. You can't really see it in this shot. You can a little bit, but it's the Eye of Providence.
Oh,
like the Illuminati symbol.
Yes.
Well,
and like you can.
I sat there and I told him which is one of the next scenes. If you look at how he's creating his magical shield, I'm like, that looks straight up Doctor Strange.
Yeah, it's very Doctor Strange.
Well, I mean, I think I understand why they want to do that, because think of it again. Hey, who are the biggest heroes out there? Doctor Strange. What if I make some of my illusions look like his? Like,
take the best of each one.
Oh, it's so... Look at this shot of him flying in the... Oh my God! This is the greatest, the single greatest Marvel Spider-Man shot ever, right there. Like,
that looks like concept art.
Yeah, it does. It really does.
And actually, you can just about see the triangle, the eye, just above the cape there.
Right. It's right here for people wondering. I'll do the mouse roundy about it. So, it's
too much. Not
it's
too
perfect.
much in a bad way. Like, this is so much. Like, we were sat there and we're like, oh, they're not gonna do this, they're not gonna do that. Maybe this is Marvel, like
this is,
and they did it.
It's clearly Marvel Studios being like, Sony, nothing is too ridiculous. They will buy and will like anything. So do this, you know, like.
I am surprised that they actually showed the fishbowl though.
Same.
I was expecting that to be held back a little.
That's
bit.
What I said. That's exactly what I told Shay. I was like, I thought they were gonna tease it, and the next trailer was gonna be the reveal, but no.
Then I told him, I'm like, you just had two Marvel like internet breaking trailers with Captain Marvel and Endgame. Sony's like, we got to do the same thing. So what? How do you do that? You show the fishbowl.
So that is all the shots in the trailer we are going to be talking about. There is quite a lot we covered in the next couple days. I guarantee there's going to be even more to talk about and really get into. And now that I think of it, if like you just kind of look at everything, right? The marketing is about to start for this movie. So you're going to be seeing a lot of stuff that's coming out and interviews and set reports. So it's going to be a good time.
I just realized something. That scene that we have Jake Gyllenhaal as Mysterio,
It's reminiscent of this, right?
It's that scene.
It's reminiscent of the whole Sandman looking scene, like the same color grading. So
he's probably sitting there telling Maria Hill and Fury, "This isn't your battle. Go away." Because if you look at how the structure is with the bricks on the side, he probably flies in right behind them.
Right.
And it just sits there and is just like, "Guys, get out of my way."
And from what we understand, like, Mysterio also works with S.H.I.E.L.D. to some degree.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting twist on him. So I wonder what they're going to do. But honestly, everything looks awesome.
I'm excited.
I can't wait to see more of this quite clearly. And, of course, we'll be back with more content for you guys and more breakdowns. So stay tuned and we'll see you guys next time.